So I'm just kicking around in the garage, and I wanted to welcome you to Chinatown. Let me take you on a tour. Had nothing to do. I'm going to be switching a lot of stuff around. So I figured I'll just do a quick little tour of my toolboxes, carts, mobile cart, workbench, stuff like that. But up here is the catch-all. Most people that have the 52-inch Husky toolboxes, most people have the same problem. It's a catch-all. You start off with your cordless tools and everything up here, and then eventually you try a bunch of different ways and you end up with this. But I keep my drill bits up here, flashlights. Yeah, this is another Defiant flashlight, one of my favorite. Toys to play with. I keep a picture of myself up there, so when my son comes to steal my tools, he knows I'm staring at him. Psychological warfare. Up here, I was keeping all of my sockets and things organized as 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch. That's all going to change. I have, you can see in here, these trays, which this was like my first Craftsman set, which I love. And I'm going to put that back in my basement, but it's been a struggle because they fit so perfectly in here and organized. But they go in that case up there, and that's also organized. I'll put it in my bench downstairs in the basement and be happy, but change is hard sometimes. Up here, these are the Husky pass-through. One of them things, I was like, well, I got the 3/8, so let me get the 1/4 inch. They do make a 1/2 inch set too, but it comes with a bigger set, and I'll just use ratcheting wrenches if I need them. I keep my little screwdriver bits, and this one's the Precision Ratcheting Screwdriver set. This is my absolute favorite. This is my first one I have. I got a second one with that Husky 432 piece mechanics tool set that I did a video on. But this was always my go-to for working on my blowers and small engines and stuff like that. It would help me, or keep me from tearing stuff apart that didn't need to be taken apart. Like everybody else, I got the little miniature precision picks, or whatever you want to call them. From all the sets, I keep them all together here. The screwdriver bits works for me. I mean, that's the name of the game. Whatever works for you, you know where everything's at. This is one of Mike Toolshed's favorite tools. He absolutely loves ratcheting screwdrivers, all kinds. So, if you have one, make sure you do a video on it just for him. He loves these things. The torque wrench, 1/4 inch. These are the 1/4 inch 12-point sockets. These are standard. Extra little ratchets, Cobalt, Stanley, Craftsman. This one's not ratcheting. It's just a multi-bit screwdriver. These are the 12-point also. Just extra ones I have. This is the part of that. It was like a 257 or something like that piece set. I don't quite remember exactly how many pieces, but it served my needs. I keep all the little extra. This is the 1/4 inch breaker bar, extra flashlights, Just all your odds and ends, gap gauges, sort of a breaker bar, 1/4 inch. That's the, oh, this thing. I swear one day I'm going to need this. I heard they suck. This is the Harbor Freight one, but I grabbed the 3-pack. I'm hoping that one day this is going to be called upon and it's going to save the day. We'll see. Down here, like I said, is the 3/8. This is the 3/8 pass-through set. Still haven't had a need for it. Tony the technician says that he loves them when he needs them. He has the Harbor Freight set. Still, you know, I tend to go to the ratcheting wrenches first. So, you know, the assortment of extra ratchets. You know, I think everybody that, when they were younger, they got these real crappy Chinese ratchets. You know, oh, they were terrible, but they worked. You got a lot of scars on your knuckles from them, but they worked. Specialty ones. This one, it's like it's extendable, and when you twist this, I can't really get it one-handed. Talking to yourself and using one hand, it takes talent, which I don't really have. So, you know, John Gibson, he's got some great videos too. I think he's got one of these, and you know, I can see the value in it. Another one of those gimmicky things that I bought, just never used. The T-handle, 3/8. I've used that a couple of times, but now I cheat and just use my my drill gun. All 3/8. Like I said, this was a great set. You know, this. I mean, I've taken it everywhere. Those blow molded cases, they suck. That's falling apart. I don't know, 4 or 5 different times. One time in a really bad spot when I was trying to, somebody was broke down. I'm like, I'm going to come save them. It was my father-in-law, and picked it up, put it in my car. We drove out there, and when I pulled it out of the trunk, it fell apart and went everywhere. So that's originally why I was like, I'll just put them in my toolbox. These are the 1/2 inch. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, this is the 3/8 Tecton manual impact. And then, I forgot to mention that. Like I said, it's hard when you're talking to yourself. But this is the 1/2 inch. These are beefy. These are Tecton. You know, they were not very expensive, and they get great reviews. And you know, I come across some old stuff sometimes. They got the old flathead screws in them, and you know, they've been in there for 50 years. You really need something. You got to soak them, and then you got to, you know, get that on there and smack them. Where if you try to put your impact gun on there, you're just going to cam it out. The Pittsburgh 1/2 inch, I used it on my Jeep, and it did good. I checked it with the old school trusty manual one, and it was right on point. So I only needed to go to 80 foot-pounds, so I don't want to kid anybody, but I was happy with it. For the $10 that I paid for it when it was on sale, and I think it's on sale right now for $10 as well at Harbor Freight. I'm happy with it. You know, but I've never had a name brand torque wrench anyways other than Craftsman to compare it to. So for me, it's great. I actually had fun playing with it, dialing it in, and going at it. Flex heads, these are the Husky flex heads. They are heavy, and but they're not super thick here. So they work. It's the Cobalt right here. A double. One of these I got in a pawn shop for 10 bucks, and then the other one I got in the 542 piece Husky set. These are 72 tooth as well, so they're nice. Much better than the old Craftsman, which again, you know, they did a job, low tooth count. The nice thing is if I want to crank on something, I'll use these. Of course, lifetime warranty. And that's it for my original layout of the sockets. But because I got the influx of other sockets, I used to keep my wrenches all in here, and I switched them out. So this is Chrome City here. These are the I took the Tecton set out I have just to kind of experiment with this. I do like it, but again, with all toolboxes, you try a bunch of different layouts and then change it again. But total in here of chrome sockets, there's 305. So that's your 6-point, 12-point, metric, and standard. So it's all there. There's still some fill-ins that if I really want to go nuts and track down, I could. But like I said, I'm experimenting with this setup. You know, and we'll see how that goes. But up here again, this is all the extra Allen keys that came with the sets. I mean, there's nothing special. These are the T-handles. I like these. I helped a buddy of mine get his boat ready this year, and he's got the same exact set. And I was taking his zincs, and they were pretty chewed up on there, and I was able to really crank on them within reason. You know, I don't want to sell it too much, but and it did fine. You know, I cranked on the fastener, put the new ones on, and we were good to go. In this drawer here, Cobalt, mini Snips and Dikes and needle nose. I find myself grabbing them when I'm doing little stuff, usually around the holidays, to trim stuff or whatever. I mentioned these before. These are the Husky full tang scissors. These things are dynamite. They are. I'm a commercial roofer by trade. I do inspections now, but I had to use scissors every day, and I wish I would have had these back then, because they're just very strong. They keep a sharp edge. You can resharpen them, and you know, you can just really, I can't even sell them enough. I love them. They come out around the holidays. You can catch them, like, I think 10, 15 bucks, something like that, for a set of 2 or 3. Your lineman, your other scissors. This is like that drawer that, you know, you got something to cut open or snip. You just run over here real quick, grab it, and you're good to go. This drawer I used to have other stuff in, but like I said, I'm experimenting with some other things, and so I just threw these in here. These are your socket bits, security bits, all those bits that came in that set. Instead of putting them on rails, I just kind of put them in that. This is from like the dollar store. Oops. This is where I keep all my pliers and slip joints, and yeah, I did a tool haul video with these in it. Yeah, these are good. I mean, from Tecton, I recommend them. You you know, they work. They're pretty, pretty strong. You know, they don't flex too much, so they're good. Snap ring pliers. Sorry. These Cotter Pin Pullers. In my industry, this is a probe. You actually check seams with that. And as you get older, you get lazy, and it's threaded, so you can put it on a stick and stand and check your seams. Work smarter, not harder. These are cool. I picked these up. They don't sell these anymore. These are Husky, actually. And yeah, I needed to get under my dash and back, and there was the steering mechanism and everything else. So these work perfect. It wasn't the column, but it was part of the whole assembly. And man, these did save the day. I welcomed you guys to Chinatown. I don't have any high dollar stuff here, but everything here is used and abused and served their purpose. And you know, some of this stuff was in my go bag and used on a roof in the commercial applications, and they held up. These are the Husky standard and metric. There's a ton of them. I liked it. You know, this is a very complete set. You know, I did a review, so if you're curious, you can take a look at that to see what it all comes with. These are the universal spline type of wrenches that come with a universal set. Big lobster claw looking things. I've never really had a need for them, so that's why they're kind of tucked away in here. I got these originally though because I figured when I wanted to take my seat out of my truck that I would use these because they're universal, and I never took the seat out yet. So. These are all my door panel tools. Yeah, it's a pretty complete set now, I think. Your tree poppers, door panels, scrapers. It's all there. It's all Harbor Freight. So it really pennies on a dollar compared to your higher name brands. This is my original old school trusty rail torque wrench. This has always been on the money. You just gotta know the technique. You know, when you're pulling and you get to where you want to go, you can't give it that last little. Everybody wants to kind of, even with the click type, when you get down, everybody wants to give it that last little bit. You just got to bring it down right to it, and then you're good. These are some tools that I inherited, some stuff, you know, old school precision knives and sharpening stones. This was my original set. The standard and metric nut runners, the famous or infamous, whatever, crappy grinder from Harbor Freight. It was like $7. But for plastics and things like that, I'd rather use this than my Dremel because it's not as aggressive or as powerful. So you can, you know, for lighter, more delicate stuff, I guess I would recommend this. But this is all the old rasps, files, pickle forks, chisels, my original pry bar set, you know, pins and nail sets. And this is I've used this a few times. They're not bad. I recommend them. You know, you just got to make sure that you set it up in the line, because some of the things I stamped, you know, the one letter's here or one number's there, you know, so it's up and down. top, just the engraver, hot glue gun. This is for when you're doing like detail work on models and things like that. Just mirror, magnetic, chumpies, Johns, glue sticks. These are my main screwdrivers. They really should be up here, but I did end up putting them down here. This is the ones I usually grab when I'm working in here. These are the demo screwdrivers. These are great, from Milwaukee, like 10 bucks. I mean, you really can't. The first day that I opened these, I had an immediate use for them. Electrical drawer. These things, every time I see them, I just want to do that. They're just fun to play with. Sorry. I was amusing myself. These are crappy, but they do the trick too. Old multimeters. This thing is cool. This is like an old, I think it's from like the 70s or 80s Craftsman set that my neighbor, I inherited from my neighbor. Riveters, you know, your rivet guns, just odds and ends. Yeah, it's not even a, I think that's missing a piece or something. Yeah, Tapcons. These are like the original. You set it up so you can flip it, and you know, you can drill the hole and then you flip it, and then you got the drill bit in it. But this is the real deep drawer, and I never use it efficiently, but these are the magnetic trailer lights. This is the lights that I gotta replace my lights on my trailer with. These are submersible. Brake bleeder, Harbor Freight. This is the pneumatic one. I just got a better pneumatic one, but that one there is set up for basically to flush your system. So you know, you set it up, make sure that this is full, and you can pull all your old brake fluid out, and this will constantly keep filling your reservoir, and you get fresh brake fluid in there, which allegedly makes a difference. And here's all the crap that you guys have pretty much seen before if you see my other video. My impact guns. These are all the new stuff that I got. Paint gun, grinder. This is a caliper set. Reactionless ratchet. This is the gear wrench, serpentine belt, the ratcheting John. So that thing is banging. Ooh. This is the scaler. I got some repair work to do on my truck, so I'm going to have fun using that. Another bleeder. This is an old school stapler. It's got the buttons on there, so it's a little too tough to undo with one hand. Heavy duty riveter. Heat gun. I think this is the bearing set. Yeah, the bearing race and seal driver set. Grinder. Another impact gun. That's the die grinder. This is, oh no, this is the hammer. Oh. Husky hammer. Now I gotta put all this crap back together. The oil. This stuff is good. It's pretty cheap. I recommend it though. Oh, yeah, and then this is, I heard this is a terrible product, but I'm gonna beat it up and throw it away if it doesn't work. We're at 25 minutes, so if you're still with me, awesome. This is where I keep all my cleaners and waxes and car stuff, and up here is just the I mean, I hardly use them, you know, the adjustable wrenches, but I keep them up there. The mirror, like I said, I'm a commercial roofer, so, you know, with this many hammers, everything's a nail, as they say. I keep all my hammers. This was the Harbor Freight set. It's like 18 bucks for all these ball peen hammers. But yeah, I have assortments of different hammers. My wife will actually pick me up hammers if she sees some interesting ones. Like this one. This one came from a place called Aldi's, and they called it a roofing hammer. I've never seen this out on a roof anywhere. I mean, it's got like a meat tenderizer on there. I don't know. But this is the Cobalt matching set to the wrenches over here. So they're like brother and sister. Husky, Cobalt. Same sizes, same everything. Dead blows, grommets, a military gun cleaning kit. Sometimes you need a hatchet just to bury. These two bottom drawers, they're broken. I just keep odds and ends in there. I keep saying to myself I'm going to replace them, and the slides on them, never get around to it. This is the adjustable top. Husky, 52 inch. Very mobile. It just usually sits here though now, but again, this is the catch-all, the real junk drawer. I used to have a red Craftsman toolbox that I gave to my brother-in-law, and everything from there landed in here. So all this stuff has to find a home, but for now this is where it is. More knives, yeah, different kind of carpet knives and saws and all your different odds and ends. Old school manual hand drill. Siding popper. Especially when it gets a little bit colder out and the siding gets a little bit tighter. These are real nice to have. These are all your trim buttons in the car. Rethreading kit. Craftsman. Old set. But it's got almost everything you need. Your uh-oh stuff, you know, when your bolts are stripped out. This is another set from Craftsman. It's on sale now for like, I think it's like 30 bucks, but when I bought it, it was like 40 bucks or more. This is what I use to, when I want to take stuff off the Jeep. It's got everything you need in there. All your Torx bits, Allen keys, stuff like that. E-Torx even. It's a nice set. The ratchet sucks. factor ratchet is terrible. I usually grab one of the other, either Cobalt or Pittsburgh ratchets. Laptops. This is another drawer that doesn't have much organization, but the extra trays. Mako drum toolkit. Binder. This is just another chisel. Lug nut wrench, which, I mean, you really, you gotta have a cheetah bar with it. This is just an old DVD player that I had. I used to use over in Iraq all the time. Over here, it's all my gloves, top drawer. Never have enough gloves. Plumbing stuff. Your PEX tool. Just your odds and ends. PVC cutter. Ratcheting PVC cutter. That thing's pretty tough. Odds and ends, you know. These are your multi-purpose scissors for cutting your odd stuff. Basin wrench, Harbor Freight. Your big pipe wrenches. And somehow the tire toolkit landed in here. Sandpapers. All sandpaper. That's a sandpaper organizer. It's pretty cool. If you guys see this, I recommend it. It's a good way to store all your extra stuff. Oop. You know, because you never have enough 60 grit. I don't even know why you keep it. But it's a, you know, it's a nice way to keep it organized, and when you come across like the odd size pieces that you save or whatever, you just throw them in there. This is my finished nail gun, stapler, all that stuff. This is a nice Craftsman set. And I just keep it in there because it fits nice, but I should keep this in plastic as well, just to keep the dust out of it. But I've had this for it's just my table there, my mobile tool cart, welder. This tool cart I've done a couple different videos on, so there's no need to go into that if you want to check that out. I'm running out of battery, so hope you enjoyed Chinatown. Didn't get a chance to go over all that stuff, but as you can see, it's just random odds and ends. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and have a good weekend.